Brevis sandwich, as it is called. So this one is the Brevis sandwich. First of all, if you just go like this, can you? How's yours? You can see it here decently. I can feel the split here. See mine? If you guys look right here, you can see the split pretty well. Extensor pollicis longus, right, and brevis, and then can you guys see the tendon separation there of the abductor pollicis longus, right? So anyway, we're going to tease each of these out and show you how to palpate them, but that's what you're going to see. And they call it the Brevis sandwich because the extensor pollicis brevis runs between those two like a sandwich, right? So we'll start in this position here. If you remember the extensor pollicis longus, you guys remember how it kind of wraps around Listerstubercle a little bit? We're not going to palpate that until you guys get over there, but if you were, you just come radial styloid and kind of come up across so you feel this little bump, Listerstubercle, but you guys will learn that with Ron in a little bit. So for the extensor it's like I have to look. I'm like, extensor pollicis longus. Extensor pollicis longus, one of the big things to remember with these ones is the motions that can get confusing. So if you remember extension and then flexion going across like this, and we're doing extension for it. So we're keeping him in this position for this one, and we're going to do some of these, we're going to do resistance on it, and we're going to do resistance on the distal end here. Right? So he just tries to go an extension like this, out like that, and I'll just do resistance right here, and you can see that tendon just running across there up into his thumb on the dorsal surface here, right? You guys all see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So if we turn him into this neutral position, it'll be a little easier to palpate the brevis. So what we'll have him do is we're still doing his extension, so he's still coming straight up like he's trying to give a thumbs up. But now I'm putting, instead of resistance here, I'm putting my resistance down here, and I'm actually going to palpate. See that groove there? Kind of these two right here, that's where the snuff box is, which you guys will learn about in a minute here. But if we palpate right here, that's the brevis. If we're staying on this dorsal end of this, that's the brevis. Okay? Okay, so, and we'll switch over here and turn them up like this, right? Now for this one, it's going to be, since we're doing the abductor pollicis longus, we're actually going to, the motion we're doing is abduction. So if you guys remember ab and adduction, so abduction, adduction. So it's kind of like this and just like that, yeah, opening, closing like that. So we're going to actually put our resistance on the metacarpal here for this one. And if you feel over, you remember the sandwich sitting here, if we start to walk over, go ahead and lift it up like this. Sorry, let me get you in this good position. Go into abduction, so go up this way. And if we walk our fingers over like this towards the dorsal side, it's that tendon we run into here. Yeah, so it's a tendon you run into on the palmar side, because obviously if you flip over to this dorsal side, then you're running on that brevis, extensor pollicis brevis. So the abductor pollicis longus is on the palmar side of that. So if I'm going across, bony landmark wise, I think you guys should be able to see them, but you have the radial, if you have the radial styloid process and are kind of coming from that, then you'll first run into this extensor pollicis brevis, and then as you cross over more palmar side, you'll run into that abductor pollicis longus there. So you guys remember these three tendons. This is that brevis sandwich. So go ahead and practice those ones.